I offer you a fresh peeled lizard gecko? Can I offer you a fresh peeled gecko? And I'm Parker, and welcome back to Motley Morphs. So today, I am going to talk to you about leopard geckos. Look at this little guy. His name is Frisk. He is one of our males on our breeding team. And he is one of my favorite leopard geckos. Why? Because he is such a sweetheart. Look at him. He is a very good boy. I absolutely adore him. My husband absolutely adores him. He's so sweet and docile. He's very, very chill, especially compared to my giants. My giants are a little more angsty. But this guy is super, super chill, super docile. He just likes to explore. He's very curious. And he has that, see if I can get him to do it. He has that very, can I get it to focus? You gonna focus? Maybe? No. He has that very, typical, just dumb leopard gecko smile. They just look up at you and they're just like, wee! I absolutely adore that, and he has that face, and I'm just like, oh. Every time I look in his bin, he's just like, I'm so happy to see you! And he's very happy to see you guys today. So what are leopard geckos, and, you know, where do they come from, etc.? You know, you see these guys a lot in pet stores. Now, you probably don't see a rainwater albino at the pet store. A lot of the ones in pet stores are normally mystery genetics. Like, I see a lot of Max Snows, but they're just normally pet quality ones that the breeder didn't ruin. So, what exactly can I tell you about these guys? Well, leopard geckos actually have a very large family. What does that mean? Well, there's actually a bunch of different subspecies of leopard geckos, and I didn't know this until the other day. What does that exactly mean? He is crawling down my back. Well, what that means pretty much is that, these guys have a lot of different variations. There is the common leopard gecko. There is, you know, all these other ones. And I believe that these guys that you normally see, ooh, that tickles, are actually from Afghanistan. And so you see these leopard geckos, and a lot of them are marketed as desert-dwelling animals, and they're actually not from the desert. They're actually from more like, if you live up north, and, you know, if you're from Pennsylvania like I am, you know, we have these little temperate forests. These, naturally, like, almost mulchy forests, and they don't live in deserts at all. And to go with that, you know, they don't need a heat lamp either. They're actually, they do better with belly heat, so like a heat mat on the bottom of their tank, or bin, whatever you happen to have. They do better with that. They don't need a UVB or anything. But one of the things that you do have to look out for is metabolic bone disease, and what that is a lack of calcium. So when you feed your gecko, whether you feed them crickets or mealworms or superworms, what have you, dust them with a calcium powder, and you shouldn't have to worry about that. And I offer them, you know, because I do breed and stuff, they're on a multivitamin and vitamin with D3. That's just what I do. I like mix it together and dust all my feeders in it. And it works pretty well. What else about these guys is cool is, you know how geckos normally, like, they'll stick to walls and stuff. They have the little sticky pads. These guys, let's see if I can get them to see. Can you show them? Maybe? Can you stop climbing a minute? Stop climbing. Okay, well, he doesn't want to cooperate right now. Oh, maybe there. Maybe? Can you focus? There we go. You see there, he doesn't have sticky pads at all. He has little claws. So, seeing as they have these little claws, they do a lot. Well, I would say they do an average amount of climbing. One of the things that I like to do with my enclosures is I'll put a little piece of like driftwood in there so they can climb if they want to, and sometimes they do. I'll catch them just chilling on top of the piece of driftwood that I've propped up against their hide or something. It's great enrichment. It helps with their claws, and they don't hurt either. They aren't like big enough to like actually scratch you like maybe a cat would or an iguana. But they tickle. They really tickle, especially if you know, have your gecko on your shoulder and they decide to crawl around the back of your neck. It really, really tickles. It's just a little bit of pricklies. So, you know, these guys being from, you know, the forest and not being from sand at all, what I normally do is I'll do a Reptisoil or I'll do an Eco Earth. And that's what I'll normally have these guys on during the off season. During breeding season, I normally just have them on paper towels, which works great for juveniles, for babies. I would not put babies on any kind of loose substrate, especially not Eco Earth or sand. I would put babies on just paper towel, and why is that? Because they're just learning to hunt and stuff, and they're going to get mouthfuls of whatever substrate that you have in there. Obviously, they're not going to be able to swallow a whole paper towel. However, if they keep swallowing small, you know, mouthfuls of Eco Earth or sand and stuff, they're going to get impacted. And what that means is basically their belly's going to fill up and they're going to die. It's sad, but it happens because people are misinformed and miseducated about the proper way to take care of these baby geckos. So, another thing that I really love about leopard geckos is that once they reach maturity, they're actually usually really easy to sex. What does that mean? Well, that means that you can pretty easily tell if it's a boy or a girl. Now, I have Frisk here. Frisk is a boy. How do I know Frisk is a boy? Well, let's see if he'll cooperate so I can show you. If I take Frisk and whoop, just gently hold him up like that. Oh, are you going to squirm? You can see, are you going to focus? There, I'm not sure if you saw it or not, but there is a little V of pores. Now this guy has had a pretty active breeding season. He's had 3 girlfriends. And he kind of needs a little bit of a soak because his pores are clogged. And what those mean is that he's a boy. Now, if you go on a girl and you were to look up under there, it would be completely scaled smooth. There wouldn't be any lumps under her tail, maybe just some very, very slight lumps. But these guys have some pretty prominent lumps. And they have that little V. And that means that Frisk is a boy, and the girls are, of course, girls because they don't have any. Other things that I like about these guys is their ears. They have ears, yes, like most reptiles. These guys have ears, they're just not out like humans or other mammals. Their ears are these little holes right here, and they can actually close them. See how that's strong? And that takes and helps them control sort of like the volume of things. If things are too loud, they can kind of close it off. And one of the ways that you can tell if your leopard gecko happens to be healthy, I've heard, is that if you hold them up and you look through there and you can see almost the whole way through, because there's a membrane there. If you can look almost the whole way through and it doesn't look red or anything, that means that they're pretty healthy. Which, if that's the case, all these guys are pretty healthy. But I absolutely love these little guys. Now, as far as intelligence goes, they are not far up there on the intelligence scale, but they're definitely aware of their surroundings. But these guys are actually really great little starter reptiles, especially for like your 10-year-old who wants their first reptile or what have you. But I do suggest doing a lot of research and doing a lot of supervision with them, you know, handling, what the proper handling is, feeding them using feeding tongs, making sure that you have the right husbandry or making sure you have the right setup, and kind of just supervising, make sure that they're being fed when they're supposed to be, all of that good stuff, and just kind of making sure that you closely supervise their care and what have you. What are you doing, Frisk? What are you doing? Climbing down my back. Ha ha ha, magic trick. So, that is pretty much all of the basics about these guys. They're very interesting little lizards, and I'm glad that I have the pleasure of working with them. He's very, very tolerant, and he's very docile. Look at him. He loves them chin scritches. Look at them chin scritches. He's a good boy. Oh, and these guys actually, much like ball pythons, they actually come in a very wide variety of colors and size. Let me show you. So with me I have Banana. He's my giant Diablo Blanco, and then this is of course Frisk still. Look at that size difference. He's a giant. Banana was not in a good mood today, but as you could see, he was vastly different in color and size. Giants are actually bred to be much larger, and then there is Super Giant and it's either Goliath or Godzilla, one of the two. They're even bigger still. And I would love to take and get into some of the larger gecko sizes, which is why I have Banana. I want to get into doing the giants and the super giants because I just think they're so big and beautiful. But they come in a variety of colors, from ones that are pure black all the way to gorgeous yellows. You have ones that are yellow and black, you have these gorgeous orange colors, and they're just such a variety, and these guys are so adorable. I just love their dumb little faces. And of course, you have some that are so, so sweet, like Frisk here. And then of course you have ones that are a little more temperamental, like Banana, and of course you just kind of have to know your animal and know how much handling that they're willing to tolerate. Today Banana was in a bad mood and he just did not want to have any part of being in the video, so as soon as he started showing signs that he was just not having it today, I put him back so that way I didn't stress out my animal, and that way I didn't get bit, because he is chompy. But of course, you know, Frisk here, he's been out the whole time now. When I take and put him back, he'll probably have a fit. He likes to be out, he likes to explore, he's very curious. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That is all the basics of leopard geckos. A brief touch on morphs and size, and if you would like me to go a little more in depth about their care and setup, let me know in the comments below. As always, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you like my content and want me to keep putting out more videos like this, subscribe and make sure you ring the bell so that way you get notifications. And as always, if you want to support us and support these videos, we have a Patreon, which I'll link below, and we have merch out, and I'll link the stores for that below as well. All of the money that I make from YouTube and, you know, merchandise and everything else and Patreon, they go right back into the care of these guys. It just helps with, you know, food costs and being able to produce great animals and to keep me working with these little guys. You say bye, Frisk? Say bye. Say bye-bye. No. Okay. Bye, guys. Now you're going to give the dumb little gecko smile. I see how it is. Now you're going to do it.